Thank you, Madam Chair, and your Selection Committee for giving us the opportunity to submit our views on this very timely bill that has come into the House. My name is Paul Morgan. I'm Chairman of Wakatu Incorporation, the Rārua Atiawa people from Motueka, and the Y56 claimants. And we have that there because the Public Works Act is a very specific issue that has concerned us over many years and the owners in relation to our lands. Next to me I've Robert Taylor, he's General Manager of Manaki and Wakatu Incorporation, and Karenza is our Associate Director and actually the author of the submission to you today as a lawyer. So it's great to have them here. We support this bill, and we're certainly very pleased that the Māori Party had the good fortune to pluck it from the ballot box. I think it's a wonderful process we have here, and it's great to enable public debate. We believe that this Act, the Public Works Act, over the course of time has been inquired into substantively in terms of the impact on Māori through the tribunal processes, and it's the implementation of that has been detrimental to Māori interests, including our own. Our landowners have suffered badly under the legislation. We have extensive research and have submitted that to the Waitangi Tribunal with regard to our own specific lands, and there are many examples of our land that was taken without consent or compensation, and in circumstances where the taking of our land was unnecessary. One example is Auckland Point School. We think it's quite important, and if we can provide the maps, they've been distributed. As a case study, essentially, I don't know if many of you know, but Auckland Point School is in the centre of the town. It was on the foreshore prior to the reclamation of much of Nelson Harbour, and Wakatu essentially administers the, and you see on this map, you can see the buildings there. We hold, it's pretty simple, to the central lands in this map, and on either side there's other lands there that were part of the original block and were taken under the Public Works Act in 1920. Now this is an interesting thing because we're administrators and owners of a portion of the block, and of course we've had aspirations over the years in talking to successive governments to have the land returned in the event that education is no longer serviced on that at that location, and that's a potential distinct possibility because the population is changing in the area, and Auckland Point School may not be required in the future. However, in recent weeks, it's interesting because under the treaty process, the Minister of Treaty Settlements has taken those public works those lands and putting them actually into a list and offering them back to treaty settlement partners which don't include the original owners through Y56. Now we think this is unethical, it's not moral, it may be lawful, and we've been having a debate with the Minister on it, but it provides a classic example of how the system of the Public Works acts against the interests of the original owners. And we put it forward to you as an example of why we support this bill. We are grateful to be here and we support the main objectives of the bill for the following reasons. It is appropriate that land be returned to the former owners, in our view, when it is no longer being used for the specific purpose for which it was taken. So it's the intent thing. And the intent, I'm sure, was there in the very beginning. We all accept the fact that we do need lands for public purposes, but some of the original intent in the taking of these lands has been badly managed. Perhaps in some cases the intent was to meet vested interests. So it's time that these matters are reviewed and we look at it from a principled basis. This reform. The bill is consistent with the tribunal recommendations for amendments to strengthen the Act, and there's any number of reports where the tribunals consider this matter because it's a problem across the whole of the nation. And therein lies a problem in itself because no one wants to deal with difficult problems. but we would submit that we need to face these matters head on. We agree that where the Crown originally acquired land for no compensation, that land should be offered back at no cost. Well, I can't see the logic or why you would pay for something if you haven't received any recompense. However, a further amendment should be made to make it clear that where land was acquired for inadequate compensation, it must be returned at no cost or at reduced cost, which takes this into account. Essentially, the public have been using an asset belonging to another party, having the benefit of it, and it's been to their, it's been to their advantage. We know that the Māori Party had requested further ideas on how, what would be alternatives or perhaps further refinements to this Act, and we've given that some consideration. We don't believe that any Māori freehold land should be taken in the future for public works. It's actually not necessary. It's not necessary. Māori have lost enough land in this country. We've made our public contribution generally across the nation, and there's other ways to amend the Act to prevent that and actually Māori land be available for public works, but not the title alienated. So we would make that clear as an incorporation that manages land on behalf of its owners. That's a principle that we believe should be discussed. We have an example of what we mean and how that would work, and we distributed a document regarding Montgomery Square. Montgomery Square is a classic example where, as administrators of land, we've had jousts with Crown and local councils over many years. The council at the time desired to take our land. They threatened to take it under the Public Works, and we said, we're happy to go down that path and we will debate it with the community. In the event we agreed to agree, the community got access to that land. We put in place appropriate commercial terms where the owners got an appropriate commercial revenue, and the public got use of it for public purposes. We are the owners of the land. We own the airspace over the land. We can utilise that and adjacent land to develop to meet our needs and future needs in the future. In recent years, just the last 12 months, 2 years, we have developed a portion of the land, and we are very proud of our new organisation's residence in Nelson City, right next to this disputed piece of land. So it's not necessary to take land in the future in our view. It's for parties to resolve their issues and work in the best interests of the community. As well as supporting the bill, we recommend the following improvements to the bill that will strengthen its objectives and will ensure no further alienation. Our suggestions include amend the references in the bill to the Crown to include the Crown, local authorities and private providers. At the moment, the Crown can transfer this land between agencies, it can send it to a local authority, it can actually sell the land to private individuals, providing the intent that there's still a public good there, right? That's the way the Act works. The Auckland Point School situation that we're in is a classic example of that, where the Crown is going to transfer the title to someone else other than the owners, original owners. So we do not like the fact that the Crown, who is a recipient of this land, can transfer it to other people, whoever they may be, that actually are not the owners. It's not right. And we submit you give that some consideration. The specific recommendations relating to salarium payments, which are set out in full in our submission. For example, salarium payments should take into account the market value of the land and its current use. We're land administrators, we're expert in valuation of land. We know where we've got a commercial deal, we know where we've lost out through various statutory regimes, and our lands have been subject to them for more than 150 years, and we've had to put up with the legacy of that as we administer our way out of a living